and invoke the Almighty, I request the honorable dignitaries on the dais to please light the ceremonial lamp. I request the audience to please stand for the lighting of the lamp and the invocation by Mr. Srinivas Murthy and continue to remain standing for the NMIMS anthem, which will follow thereafter.
तुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्मच्युता शङ्करप्रभृतिभिः देवै सदा वन्दिता सा मम पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा निःशेषजाड्यापहा
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. I request the Controller of Examination, Mr. Ashish Apte, to take charge of the proceedings.
Good morning. Now I am requesting Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Ramesh Bhatt to declare the convocation of our schools of Commerce, Economics and School of Science at Bengaluru campus open.
I declare the convocation 2023 of the NMIMS Bengaluru campus open.
Thank you, sirs. It is a great privilege to have with us Mr. Nitin Pai, CMO and Chief Strategy Officer at Tata Elxsi, as a chief guest for today's auspicious occasion. As a token of our appreciation, I request Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Ramesh Bhatt to present our chief guest, Mr. Nitin Pai, with a bouquet and a memento. Thank you, sirs. Thank you, ma'am. Leadership is not a position or a title. It is action and example. Our Vice Chancellor, sir, has proved it not just with his ideas, but with his actions. I humbly request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Ramesh Bhatt, to address the gathering.
Chief guest of the day, Mr. Nitin Pai, CMP and Chief Strategy Officer at Tata Elxsi. Sir, it is indeed our great pleasure to welcome you as our chief guest for this convocation function. Mr. Ashish Apte, Controller of Examination, Professor Narayani Ramachandran, Officiating Director of the Bengaluru campus, honorable members of the board and management, distinguished faculty and staff members, dear graduating students, parents, and relatives of graduating students, and I also welcome everyone who has joined us to watch this ceremony through the live streaming. Well, very good morning to all of you, and I welcome everyone to the graduation ceremony of the Bengaluru campus, class of 2023. Big applause for your grand achievement. My heartfelt congratulations to all the students who are graduating today. In particular, I welcome and really celebrate the gold medalist from School of Commerce, BCom Honors, Tejaswini Vishwanathan, securing CGPA of 3.95 record and making us very proud that this campus, she has taken the gold medal out of all the 8 campuses where these programs is being offered. So very, very congratulations. And also to all the students who have found out their place on the Dean's list, also many, many congratulations to them. And also the congratulations to all the other graduating students. And I'm sure that you will have very bright future and you will take a lot of inspiration from the gold medalist and the Dean's list students and work hard in future. Well, graduation ceremony in some sense is never the last academic ceremony you attend. Perhaps in your life, you will attend many more graduating ceremonies in future. And in some sense, it is a kind of a new beginning. Today marks a significant milestone in your life, and in some sense, it is really culmination of your years of hard work and dedication and perseverance. It also signals the start of fresh, exciting chapter filled with the infinite possibilities and boundless opportunities. The future is certainly unknown and unknowable, but as we have all experienced, that future is always filled with limitless potential. The accomplishment today marks a successful and proud entry into your future endeavors. And I'm sure that you will have incredible opportunities that will undoubtedly shape your future. So you must celebrate this momentous occasion with enthusiasm and optimism and embark on this new journey with courage and pride. And as you embark on your journey, I extend my best wishes, hoping that each one of you finds a feeling of contentment and pride in everything you do. I am sure your great efforts and achievements will help you achieve great things in life. Your credentials will take you to much higher places, and you will prove yourself and contribute to making the world a better place. Well, you graduate someone having gone through a very tough, rigorous curriculum and after testing yourself. Since controller of examination is sitting with me, I can vouch for that the testing times have been really great for all of you and for completing all the requirements, whether it was ICA or it was the end-term examinations. But during your learning journey, you engrossed yourself in exploring the process of decision making, understanding the context, imbibing contemporary thinking and advanced technology, learning from the past, envisioning the future, and redefining and putting forward your value-creating responses. Your training in critical thinking will always help you to contemplate multiple diverse planes. Your ability to juggle between opposite thinking processes gives you an edge in delivering socially relevant solutions. Your inclusive approach and your commitment characterizes the NMIMS University. Your training at the NMIMS Bengaluru campus has helped you to imbibe evolved communication strategy focusing on visual, oral, written, graphical, akin to something metaverse, to translate your ideas into reality. You have all the skills to develop unique syntax and language, not only to communicate your ideas to others, but also to ideate and develop new concepts and effective solutions. You graduate someone who understands the importance of collaborative processes and working with empathy. Your parents must be delighted today, and NMIMS University gratefully acknowledges their contribution to making it possible for you to reach to this stage. As you look forward in the future, it is important to remember the lessons we have learned and the experiences that have shaped us. These experiences will guide you, and you will navigate the path ahead and with all its twists and turns. Always remember that wherever you go and whatever you do, your actions will be like your fingerprints, proof of where you have been and what you have touched. Your education here at Bengaluru campus has added value not only to your learning journey, but it has also added to the footprints of the university. I must say that you are going out in the world with excellent NMIMS credentials. So let us celebrate this moment together and take the first steps forward towards the future with courage, determination, and commitment to excellence. Well, convocation time is also a time to reflect on the journey which you have had and what has brought to you to this stage. 3 years back, when you decided to join this extraordinary institution to explore and enrich yourself, and when you joined in July 2020, we were still in the pandemic phase at that time. I vividly remember you were joining the program virtually through the Zoom and WebEx platform. And immediately after that, starting your online orientation as well as your online classes. For several days and months and years, in fact, you heard a greeting message all the time, "Am I audible?" when formal online classes started. You faced unique challenges along the way, but you have all persevered. Your resilience and determination have made a marked difference in your life to take your journey to this very moment. The experience turned out to be quite unprecedented for all of us. The pandemic required us to confront challenges on so many dimensions. Your first half of the graduation was entirely virtual, mainly on the Zoom platforms. We conducted your end term examination, all ICAs, for I think 3 to 4 semesters through the student portal. And post mid-semester in 2022, things improved and we moved to in-person classes with some sessions always having in hybrid mode. NMIMS, like all institutions across the globe, confronted with this unusual, extraordinary situation. The university rose to the challenge of this emergency. Everyone rose to a critical leadership position. I am very proud that we all worked together, supported each other, and wherever needed, engaged in problem solving and coming with the innovative solutions to deal with the challenges effectively. The pandemic required us to teach, learn, and work remotely. We experienced something real VUCA word, like volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous word. We interacted with most of you through our synchronous and asynchronous virtual learning methods. We remained conscious of making the learning process highly engaging and effective. I believe we have many reasons to have enormous pride in how we handled the challenges and the change we confronted. Most of our technological innovations and several initiatives toward digital transformation happened during the first year of your joining the NMIMS. Online exams, ICAs, online learning, primarily to ensure continuity of your academic progression, and using both synchronous and asynchronous learning mode. Why I am saying this all? Because for us, ensuring the continuity of your academic program was the most important thing in our scheme of things and when we were handling this pandemic situation. When we are sitting here across today in this auditorium celebrating your convocation, there are many children who have not been able to complete their graduation across India because of this kind of a disruption. I think it was sheer process of leadership shown by the campus, faculty team, the staff, to ensure that not a single day was missed or discontinuity of even a single day was not experienced. Flawlessly, all the programs, all the assignments, all the examinations, all the placements, all the internships were managed on a very continuous basis. And all programs across NIMS, whether it is Bangalore campus or Hyderabad campus or Mumbai campus, I think seamlessly these academic processes were ensured to go in a very continuous manner without the kind of disruption. And I think we are very fortunate to have this convocation today in person and celebrating without any term break or without any year break in our curriculum. Well, most of our processes, as you know, are very robust and very rigorous. We ensure that we make sure that we follow all the academic processes of rigor and ensuring that our curriculum was completed with all the parameters of assurance of learning in completeness and in total. Of course, when we shifted from virtual to in-person classes, we faced some challenges, but we managed that process through the hybrid mode in the beginning and gradually moved towards the in-person and physical classroom kind of situations. I must say that we all ensured a continuity in our activities and not creating any disruption, even though we were facing very, very strong turbulence throughout almost 1 year. I still remember that the kind of an cooperation and volunteerism I experienced during that period, particularly ensuring that exams are done online and with that same rigor, and the courses are completed with same rigor. The faculty role, the role of the staff has been very significant in that process. I thank everyone actually in making sure that our academic continuity plan, which we followed very rigorously at that point in time, and I thank the leadership of the university, our Honorable Chancellor, Shri Amrishbhai Patel, and our mentors, Shri Shailesh Bhai from Bengaluru, and the kind of an effort and support they provided to us in that process. One thing I also strongly experienced during that time was the distributed leadership approach. Everybody took some kind of an leadership position to make sure that we implement everything very effectively. The support which we received from everyone at the Bengaluru campus, students, faculty, staff, and all the university departments which provide the support services has been something very great, and our determination and resolve demonstrated in real sense that what we mean by resilience and leading from the front. I must acknowledge the tremendous support you and your parents provided to us during that time. And I gratefully acknowledge, and we will always remain grateful for their support in the process. And that is because we are celebrating the convocation here today. Well, I would like to mention a little bit about that. What did we learn during that pandemic, and how do we continue to learn in future? And maybe you may find some of those experiences relevant for you in future, whatever pursuits you endeavor to take up. Well, first was that I think the understanding the context, because when we were confronted with the pandemic and suddenly on March 20th, 2020, the lockdown was announced, and I had no idea that how one is going to handle the online classes. Though the Zoom and other platforms were existent since 2010, I heard the Zoom platform first time in March 2020. So were a large number of faculty members. But I think the understanding that context, if one would have, as you all are students of business management, commerce and science, economics, you know the context is made of constraints, compliances, controls, and the kind of relationships which we have. If everybody had taken the view that we have a severe constraints, I don't think we would have been sitting here and celebrating this convocation, right? So understanding the context and decoding the context, I think, was perhaps our first lesson, that if we are in this kind of an context, how do we need to respond to the kind of a situation? And it was, believe me, full of whole lot of constraints, like examination copies, students' answer books were lying with the faculty and the rooms were locked. How to take out those answer books and make sure that those answer books reach to the faculty for evaluation. Now, if somebody in the university had taken the position that you cannot do it, you cannot break the lock of a faculty room, take out those answer books, and if the examination officer has taken the situation or position that this is not written in my job, that I have to break the classroom and take out the the answer books, and I have to then uh, uh, transport those answer books to different locations, many of them in different parts of India. And I think it was a very difficult task. But I am very glad that when you look at this situation, which is filled with the constraints, you always end up adopting a position that don't treat these constraints, but treat them as the stretch, that you have to go 1 mile extra to make sure that you are able to handle this kind of a situation with successful outcomes. And that's what we did. And you know that during the pandemic, we faced a lot of compliances like wearing the mask and distance maintaining kind of a thing. And we always took this position that in the university, compliances are a matter of discipline. So don't treat the compliances as the compliance, but a matter of discipline. And same way that when we are working together, the relationships are there. Everybody adopts the position of like being a volunteer and taking the job forward, which means that it can happen only when there is a great deal of trust among ourselves and you are really adopting an approach of supporting each other. So the pandemic really taught us that how do we handle these constraints, how do we handle the compliances, how do we make sure that we support each other, and how do we ensure that our relationships are based on the trust. If these kind of things were not there, I think it would have created a serious disruption. I'm sure that when you go forward in future, you may find this important lesson that not to treat the constraints as a constraints, but a method to stretch, not to treat the compliances and compliances, but a matter of discipline, and not to look at the relationships in pure contract sense, but work based on the supporting each other and based on the trust kind of a thing. I think even today when we are now moved back to the normal situation, I imbibe these principles very critically and try to see that we follow this kind of an approach. The second, I think, important thing what made us to make sure that we do not face serious disruption was the concept of a teamwork and what I call the distributed leadership model. Everybody in the system assumed some kind of a leadership role and made it sure that whatever task is at hand, they are able to complete it in well in time. I think there's a very beautiful concept, and I will recommend a documentary which is titled as Playbook, A Coach's Rule for Life. And I think it is available on one of the Netflix or Prime Video. If you can watch it, you will understand a very beautiful concept in the first episode called Ubuntu. And the meaning of the Ubuntu is, I am because we are. I think the situation when we were in the grip of this disruption, I think our existence was because others were also there and supporting us. And this gave us a beautiful metaphor in terms of working together. And we will never forget that time and understanding that our existence was centered on the idea of interconnectedness, that we are quite interconnected with each other. And the kind of an volunteerism which everybody showed at that point in time really helped you to address this kind of a disruption situation. Now, I think these lessons are proving to be very useful to us because we still live in a very continuous disruption situation. It is not as if we have come out of the COVID, we are not facing any disruption now. So I'm sure that if we prioritize the teamwork, if we prioritize working together, it is really helping us to address the situation. The third thing which I would like to tell you that because during that time, particularly 2020, 2021, I think I have been speaking to hundreds of students and hundreds of parents on phone or doing kind of an consultation, the kind of situation they were facing. And I literally found that we were in a real kind of an very VUCA kind of a situation, which you know that, which is very volatile, very uncertain, complex, and very ambiguous kind of a situation. So I have been always trying to, when I'm speaking to them, I broadly based on those discussions, I found that there were 4 positive attitude tests which were very important, and I got a lot of benefit personally at my end to look at those kind of lessons. Like when you are dealing with the volatility, which is the first aspect of this complex situation in this world, always develop an attitude of responding and not reacting. And I'm sure that as a student, you would have understood the meaning and the difference in responding and reacting. Respond is a very calculated measure, and reacting is something which you sometimes without thinking you do it. So whenever you are faced by the volatility in your life, I think it is very important to see that you follow the approach of responding and not reacting. And whenever we are facing the uncertain situation, it is very important that we are not allowing our fears to avoid taking the decisions or even sometimes taking the risks. I think we must remember this lesson. And when we are focusing on the complexity, I think the rule is that whenever you are dealing with a complex situation, make sure that and ensure that you are able to see clearly and perceive with clarity. And all your education, whatever you have done, I think will come to your great help to giving you some kind of clarity in your conceptual thinking and your conceptual framework. And last, which is of VUCA world, they call the ambiguity, make sure you spend some time on contemplation and meditation to quiet your mind enough to make the meaning to handle the ambiguity. Unless you sit down, I think many students and even now we have the formal classes also on meditation and concepts like that, which help you to deal with the ambiguity session, ambiguity thing. And I think I just found that whenever I discuss with the students and whenever I discuss with the parents, I found these 4 positive attitude tests are very great help to deal with the kind of situations which we were facing, where there was a lot of uncertainty, there was a lot of ambiguity, a lot of complexity. And the last point, I think, in our learning was the harnessing the technology and how the technology came to our rescue to ensure that whatever like the classes which we had to do virtually, they are done effectively and so on and so forth. And I think in the recent times, particularly last year in November, we had this ChatGPT coming in, which has added a lot of importance and significance to the technology. And I think it is very important, as I was telling, that most of our technological transformations also happened during your first year of graduation. But I would always put up a caution on the technology, the way it is emerging. And one should never have the blind faith and kind of a thing that you are using it without really reflecting on it, what you are using it for, kind of a thing. Because there was a recent research paper which has shown that like ChatGPT 4 has problems of answering the same question. Like 4 months back, the answers were coming correct. And after 4 months, because there has been the drifts in the chain of thoughts effect, because it is all large language models and based on a lot of complex algorithms. And people are also observing that because nobody has insight into how these algorithms work, there is a lot of drift happening in the way the ChatGPT 4 itself is thinking, which is the much more advanced version of that. Like I give you some statistics. In the month of March 2023, the code which was generated by ChatGPT 4, 52% of the code was effectively getting implemented. And when the same code was generated fresh in June 2023, only 10% of that code worked well, actually. So you can also find out a lot of, I think, examples that why the technology has not stabilized. So I'm just putting, while you are graduating, technology is great, but I think you need to have the word of caution and make sure that in your life, wherever you are going to use it, use this technology with caution, because I still feel that many students are using this technology blindly without understanding what are the kind of domains I am getting into it. I would like to just emphasize this point so that you remember it. I'm just was reminded when I was just reflecting on my speech yesterday, a scene from a sequel movie, which is the Top Gun Maverick, which was recently released. And this movie is an excellent example of that what the technology can do and what the technology cannot do. In this movie, the Maverick, who is the teacher who teaches the to train the jet flight pilots, and when he is teaching them, they have an assignment to move into some enemy positions to destroy them. And the Maverick, the protagonist in the movie, is in the F-14 plane, and when he finds himself in the lines of enemy jets, and he feels that he is outgunned by them because they have a much stronger airplanes, and they will be finished very soon. And when he is thinking about it, the Maverick has a co-pilot who is sitting behind him, and that pilot, he reminds him that Maverick, it is not the pilot, it is not the planes, it is the pilot which makes the difference. It is not the plane, it is the pilot which makes the difference. And the moment I think he is sitting in a very old fighter plane, and then when he finds this, that pilots can make a difference, and then that he comes out of that kind of a situation where he has almost given it up, that they are finished, and delivers one hack of action to counter-attack the enemies. So I think this was, I think, one very important, I think, at least kind of a lesson which I took back from that movie, is that it is not the machines, it is the people actually first, right? So always remember and be that pilot and be that maverick in your life wherever and whenever you face these kind of a situation. So on this day, and my last few lines to celebrate your graduation today, we always acknowledge the achievement of our students, our alumni, our faculty, and whether we have been able to meet the aspirations of all students who joined us. So one day, I think I have spent a lot of time with the campus to get into the details and reviewing the last year performance. And I'm very proud that the campus has done very well on most of the important parameters. Of course, in life, we always have the challenges, and which we are going to tackle and handle well. Well, I must assure you that our robust processes and review processes will always help us to strive for the best. And we will always continue to work very hard and ensure that we meet aspirations of all our students and all our alumni. Our new path is to reinvent ourselves and invent new things. And as per our part of our goals and what we call the building blocks, we are very much focused on the knowledge creation, enhancing teaching and learning through assurance of learning processes, which you might have seen that the rigor of the curriculum and the way the examinations and testing is done at the university. And we are always making sure that NMIMS is known and recognized for its academic excellence and becomes the most preferred institution of learning. And we always try to make it sure that we meet the aspirations of all the students and parents and all the stakeholders who join the NMIMS University. While doing all this, we are conscious of the fact that highest goals of education have transitioned from profit maximization principles to a mission of value creation with integrity and being ESG sensitive in the current times. And I'm sure that during your education, you would have got a lot of sensitization on the ESG concepts and how to follow the ethical value creation paths and value creation strategy. I must say that all along, wherever your roles transition from your current leadership positions, whatever you are going to do, follow the education in future or joining the industry, make sure ethical value creation is always your North Star to guide you. Years from now, when you look back, I assure you that you will feel nothing but pride in your alma mater. We shall also welcome you to become the proud alumni of the Bengaluru campus today and celebrate your joining as the alumni of the campus. Now, since the initial phase of your program was driven virtually through synchronous and asynchronous approaches, and having learning experience from remote and attending online classes, you may like to recreate some of the lost experience, not the full experience, but at least some part of that experience you can rebuild. Now the question is how? You can do it by considering visiting us frequently as you can. And I assure you that whenever you come to the campus, the faculty and the staff will welcome you. You may spend some time playing golf. I know that you have very good, small, mini golf facility here. Or visit the canteen with your favorite faculty for a cup of coffee. I'm sure that wherever you will go, you will consider revisiting us, coming frequently here, meeting your young students, giving them the kind of time, at least the time of 1 year which you had here, and then relive that 2 years of time spending with the students. But I am also conscious of the fact it is very difficult. And when you get into the new phase, either education or working in the industry, taking time is difficult. But you must make a conscious effort that you visit the campus once in a while. And I think in this entangled world, whether you take higher education or you go to the industry, and when you feel lost in the entangled world, and the web of challenges which you will face, which of course everyone is going to face, know the way out is very simple. Speak to your family, friends, and teachers. Do good things in your life and make sure you create a legacy, and one day you can say with pride that you did extraordinary things. Always remember, the campus is yours, the university is yours, and it will always be yours. God bless you and बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं आप सबको.
Thank you so much, sir, for your encouraging and enlightening words. Here at NMIMS, we are a part of an incredibly dynamic and enthusiastic academic environment made possible with the efforts of our students, faculty, and administration. We will now take a quick glance at the academic progress of the three schools. I request Deputy Director Dr. Narayani Ramachandran to present a report of the Bengaluru campus for the year 2022-23.
A pleasant good morning to one and all present here. Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Ramesh Bhatt, esteemed Chief Guest Shri Nitin Pai, respected Controller of Examination Shri Ashish Shapte, Program Chairpersons, faculty and staff members, my dear graduating students, parents and relatives, and invitees from the media, I am honored to welcome each one of you to this most awaited Convocation Ceremony 2023 of NMIMS Bengaluru campus. Today, this auditorium is illuminated with guiding lights, and this special occasion marks a significant milestone in the lives of graduating students. Today is the day of celebration, a day to recognize the hard work, dedication, and achievements of our graduates and the pillars, family and faculty and staff members who stood by you while you achieved this glory. The NMIMS Bengaluru campus is dedicated to providing students with very positive and supportive learning environment and has the legacy of developing successful professionals and industry leaders. Since its inception in 2008, the institute has been committed to playing a pivotal role in nation building by transforming and equipping students with right knowledge, skills, and mindset to pursue excellence in their chosen field. Students from different walks of life have joined this campus and have become models of inspiration and agents of change. NMIMS Bengaluru campus is ranked number 1 by Open Magazine in the year 2022. NMIMS Bengaluru campus works based on guiding pillars designed by our Honorable Vice Chancellor. These pillars are knowledge creation, enhancing the teaching and learning process through assurance of learning system, making NMIMS the most preferred institute of academic excellence, and by aligning the stakeholders' interest. We implement these building blocks through developing a culture by stretching our constraints and creating in the right given context by adhering to the compliances and by collaboration and mutual trust. We strive hard towards achieving excellence in all our endeavors. Now I would like to present a brief report of the academic year roundup 2022-23. A total of 200 candidates from 5 different programs offered by 3 different schools are graduating in this graduation ceremony. From School of Commerce, from BBA program, 121 students, and BCom Honors with 23 students, and BSc Finance with 19 students. And from School of Economics, from BSc Economics with 12 students, and School of Sciences, BSc ASA with 18 students. As a university, our focus has always been on enriching the academic space in every aspect, right from curriculum design, pedagogy to student support, research and placements. It is indeed gratifying when these efforts are recognized by ranking agencies. The campus ranking and recognition is a great validation of our journey so far and an incredible motivation to aim for higher benchmarks. I am glad to announce the significant achievements of this academic year. Our campus has been rated for our SBM program A++ by Business India magazine, and Business Today magazine ranked NMIMS Bengaluru campus SBM program as number 3 in the city-wise category and 7th in the South Zone category. The strategic partnership with various global universities and professional bodies, the university has constantly strives to nurture future professionals and leaders. Some of our campus significant ones are an international leadership immersion program that we have conducted along with University of Dundee and University of Brunel from UK. Our students attended a inclusive education program along with them. A delegation from the University of Applied Sciences and Engineering, Constance, Germany, they visited us for academic collaboration in September 2022. A delegation of 6 top European and North American business schools from Imperial College London, Politicano di Milano, Graduate School of Business Italy, INSEAD, and University of American University, Santa Clara University visited us in January for academic collaboration. A consortium of US universities led by Boston University visited our campus for an insightful discussion on networking strategies for our global practitioners. I'm happy to share our faculty publications and achievements in various national and international journals of repute. Faculty members across the schools also presented research papers in various national and international conferences. Dr. Avantika Rajpuria from the School of Commerce published an article titled Urban Cooperative Banks in Crisis in EPW, Economic and Political Weekly, under the special article section. Dr. Avantika has also presented 2 research papers in international conferences and also published a book chapter titled India's Positioning on Female Entrepreneurship Among its BRICS Counterparts. Professor Dilip Menon from School of Commerce has presented multiple research papers at the international conferences. Professor Gavin D'Souza from School of Commerce was nominated by Harvard Business School Publishing as a marquee speaker at a roundtable discussion in the 12th Indian Management Conclave 2022 held at IIM Kozhikode. Dr. Kavya from the School of Sciences published and presented research articles in the area of magnetic hybrid nanoparticles, hybrid nanofluid, and many more. Dr. Santosha from School of Science presented a paper on non-parametric estimation. Professor Indu Sugama from the School of Economics presented a paper at an international conference held at IIM Ahmedabad. She has also won the Best Poster Award at PhD Colloquium organized by IGIDR Mumbai. Dr. Prerna Barua from the School of Economics co-authored a teaching case study and presented the same at INDAM NMIMS Mumbai. Dr. Professor Anand Prakash from the School of Economics delivered a guest lecture on 19th December on Introduction to Research for Policy at Ashoka University, Haryana. Now it's my time to highlight the student achievements from School of Science, School of Economics, and School of Commerce. In a national level case study competition held in the month of August 2022, hosted by Skill Sapiens, our team, Nudge, consisting of Avinash Maharana, Batul Hussain, and Vishal Mishra, of the third year BBA were placed among the top 20 teams out of 148 teams in the competition by the jury members, which included industry mentors from McKinsey, Boston Consulting Group, Bain Company, and Deloitte. A one-day workshop on education to entrepreneurship was conducted in the month of August 2022 in collaboration with NGO Talimbo Tarbiat. The aim of the workshop was to enable the students to convert their business ideas into successful startups. Mr. Adil Jain Boy, Chairman Quality Council of India, Chairman Network 18 Group, was the chief guest for the event. The workshop covered various topics on entrepreneurship, financial literacy, capital markets, and depository services. Mr. Harshad Desai, design thinker and entrepreneur, Ms. Kalpana Balasubramaniam, CEO and chief thinker of Grant Thornton, spoke about business idea generation and converting into viable business models. Mr. C.S. Harisha, regional manager, CSDL Karnataka, spoke about financial literacy, capital markets, and depository services. An in-person session by Dr. Suresh Kamuri, Associate Dean, Strategic Initiatives Lead from the School of Business from the University of Albany. He organized the first year UG students in a colloquium about international collaboration opportunities to study abroad. A two-day workshop on accounting for economists was conducted by Dr. Samya from Christ University. In the month of November 2022, Navodaya, the Social Responsibility Committee of NMIMS Bengaluru, worked with BPMP, Bruhat Bengaluru Mahanagara Palike, and Hulimavu Kere Taranga, a social activist group, to conduct a clean drive at Hulimavu Lake. Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, as you mentioned about ESG, our campus take it very seriously to do our bit of contribution to the society by doing this environmental drive. The students from School of Science, Commerce and Economics, they've collected 600 kgs of dry waste, mostly made up of plastic cans, and heaps of weeds, and cleaned the lake. And this is a proud moment of contribution of our school to the society. The team, Avni Gupta, Rashmi Rajaram and Savya Kulhare, won first prize in the inter-college event Synthesize at Christ University. Our student teams also participated in the inter-college business quiz organized by Jain University, and School of Mathematics Applied Statistics have published this first edition of newsletter called Stat Savvy in March 2023. Umang Daga, Prishya Mehta had the privilege of attending the prestigious international conference on statistics at NMIMS Mumbai campus. The Women in Data Science global team at Stanford University has given us the approval to go ahead with Datathon workshop at our campus in February 22, and it was conducted by School of Mathematics, Applied Statistics and Analytics. Karthik Aneja, MBA student and a national level case study winner in competition held at IIMs and IITs, conducted 2 sessions for our students in handling the various competitions on hackathons. Harshna Nagpal, Aditi Kulkarni and Badiraj Mokhtali attended the WIDS conference at IIM Bangalore. We invited 2 resource persons from the industry for conducting guest lectures for the students on panel data, and it was offered by Mr. Avijit Nandi, qualitative analysis from Acute Knowledge Partners, and another one by Ms. Diksha Mohani, advanced analytics specialist from Walmart. Data Maze 2023, a national level competition conducted by Christ University, found most of the NMIMS students winning the prizes. The first prize was won by Aryan Porwal, second place by Gauri Sharma, Kushi Verma and Vasha Praveen, and Raunak won multiple prizes during this competition. Sai Teja Taral Pudi and Sanchit Kabra, they won the prizes in the competition Catch Me If You Can in the Data Analytics Forum. Aryan Powal won the second place in photography competition at WOYU 2023 hosted by NMIMS Mumbai. Vidya Jaiswal participated in Adzab 2023, a marketing competition, and won the first position. Moving on to this achievements from students' achievements in School of Economics, Vidhi Malpani, Siddharth Raman of SOE won third place in inter-college event both. It's a quiz competition organized by B.R. Ambedkar School of Economics University in March 2023. Siddharth Raman of SOE also won the award as Best Sportsperson of the third year 2023. Neeraj Nair and Siddharth Raman of SOE, they were the winner of Basketball Warrior 2023 organized by FETA. 6 students of 2 teams made it to the final round of inter-college event organized by Ekantago, the Economic Association of Christ University, and it was held in the month of February 2022. School of Economics, BSc Economics second year students Tanisha Singh and Rochak Jain were qualified to the national finalist in Persepice, the International Intercollegiate Management Fest hosted by Jain University and CMS Business School. To summarize this year, NMIMS Bengaluru has shown remarkable progress in campus placement, competition won by students, a series of extracurricular and co-curricular activities conducted through various clubs and committees, and new international collaborations, research publications by faculty members, and various other achievements. These achievements are a testament to our commitment to academic excellence and our dedication to producing outstanding graduates. Thank you.
But and Controller of Examination Mr. Ashish Apte to present the degrees for their schools. I request Deputy Director Dr. Narayani Ramachandran to accompany the dignitaries. For the School of Commerce, I invite Professor Gavin D'Souza to take over the proceedings.
Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Ramesh Bhatt, I present before you 122 number of students, including those in absentia from School of Commerce, who have successfully completed their Bachelor of Business Administration program, starting with Arushi Malhotra, Akarshita Agarwal, Amog Vikram Singh, Ananya Rai, Annapurna Gupta, Anubhav Gupta, Anushka Khurana, Anusha Bist, Anushka Shukla, Chandrika Gadiraju, Gaurvika Khurana, Ishita Srivastava, Kanika Juneja, Karandeep Singh, Karthik Ramesh, Kushi Rastogi, Kush Savla, Madhav Acharya. Mahika Sachdeva. Malika Sharma. Mehak Malhotra. Mohammad Reyas. Mohammad Siddiqui. Neerja Juneja. Pranav Arora. Ragini Thapa. Rishal Gowda. Sabya Vig. Sai Ila. Saidas Nair. Saksham Batra. Sambhav Agarwal. Satvik Kamili. Shubham Raj. Varsha Siddha. Tanmay Tulsian. Vanshika Agarwal. Varima Tandon. Vasu Gupta. Vidit Sharma. Arihant Jain. Gauri Malhotra. Mahi Tripathi. Pritika. Vaibhav Kingrani. Vidhi Verma. Akarsh Marwa. Aman Jain. Amartya Singh. Ananya Chengta. Anjali Gupta. Anshula Shonksale. Anushika Bare. Ananya Agarwal. Archit Dubey. Arprit Kurl. Asta Bhanka. Avinash Maharana. Batul Hussain. Bharti Ganapati Raju. Chaitanya Sadhana. Chavi Parsare. Devak Patel. Dhruv Nevare. Drasik Agarwal. Forum Chandrana. Harsh Bala. Jai Gajar. Sashanka Jaluri. Jinesh Jain. Kajal Mendirata. Karthik Bhatnagar, Kaushal Pateria, Kushi Kakad, Lakshit Jain, Madhukar Vanukuri, Meet Jain, Mihir Chelaboya, Navneet Pradeep, Nikhil Verma, Om Pokar, Samriddhi Agarwal, Vasishta Sagar, Swayam Rautela, Tanisha Jain, Tanvi Mutyala, Tanya Shetty, Vanya Agarwal, Varun Oza, Vedant Sanyal, Vinay Fogat, Vishal Mishra, Vishesh Shrivastava, Soumil Sharma, Now I request Professor Basavanaraj to take over the proceedings.
Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Ramesh Bhatt, I present before you 25 number of students, including those in absentia from School of Commerce who have successfully completed their Bachelor of Science in Finance, starting with Akash Mehra, Anshika Agarwal, Danish Shahid, Krivinath, Mili Bambani, Nitish Jain, Pratham Ranawat, Riya Manchani, Shiva Mahajan, Shruti Pokhriyal, Shweta Prabhu, Vishesh Amarnani, Yuvraj Sharma, Punya Sukralia, Samarth Sarin, now I request Dr. Dilip Menon to take over the proceedings.
Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Ramesh Bhatt, I present before you 23 number of students, including those in absentia from School of Commerce, who have successfully completed their Bachelor in Commerce Honours program, starting with Divya Seotia, Kenisha Yadav, Vardhan Batra, Akhil Sundar, Manavi Mehta, Khushi Shah, Tanish Mehta, Ananya Jain, Anindita Sahu, Ansh Srivatsav, Ekansh Holani, Tejaswini B, Mallika Gupta, Tanav Jain, Sri Vamshi Kota, Shambhavi Ahuja, Gauri Bansal, and Devan Sabu. Now, I request Dr. Prerna Barua to take over the proceedings.
Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Ramesh Bhatt, I present before you 12 number of students, including those in absentia, from the School of Economics who have successfully completed their Bachelor's of Science in Economics program, starting with Akanksha Namya, Stuti Mohan, Mehul Agarwal, Neeraj Nair, Raghav Kumar, Sangskarita Katiyar, Siddharth Raman, Tanya Khurana, Vaishnavi Bhagat, Vidhi Malpani, and Vishaka Agarwal. Now I invite Dr. Santosha CD to take over the proceedings.
Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Ramesh Bhatt, I present before you 18 number of students, including those in absentia from School of Science, who have successfully completed their Bachelor of Science in Applied Statistics and Analytic program, starting with Abhiram M. Akash Avinash, Aryan Porwal, Deepak Ken, Gauri Sharma, Harshakriti, Kushi Verma, Kuhu Dikshit, Palak Bansal, Raunak Kalra, Sanchit Kabra, Vaibhav Raguraman, Varsha Praveen, Vidya Jaiswal, Likit Kumar, Sai Teja Darlapudi, Now I request Dr. Deepthi Pathak to take over the proceedings.
Thank you, sirs. Thank you, ma'am. Now I request the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Ramesh Bhatt, to administer the oath on those who are present here and those permitted to remain absent. Please, sir. I request all the students to please rise for the oath. Please settle down fast.
By virtue of the power vested in me by the Board of Management of SVKM and NMIMS as the Vice Chancellor, I hereby declare all of you who are present and those who are permitted to remain absent are admitted to the respective degrees. I hereby charge you to uphold the dignity and the value of the degree awarded to you by this university in your life and profession.
I request Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Ramesh Bhatt to confer the degrees.
I hereby confer the degrees.
Students may please be seated. Thank you, sir. Students, please settle down fast. I now request Controller of Examinations, Mr. Ashish Apte, to present the register of the graduates to the nominee to our Vice Chancellor, sir, for his signature. Thank you, sirs. I request our chief guest, Mr. Nitin Pai, and Honorable Vice Chancellor, NMIMS University, Dr. Ramesh Bhatt, to present the awards for the outstanding performance to the faculty and students. I request our Deputy Director, Dr. Narayani Chandran, to please take over the proceedings.
Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Ramesh Bhatt sir, I present before you the students who, on the basis of their CGPA, have been declared eligible for the meritorious list 2022-2023, have registered for this convocation, and present here have been declared to have passed. Now I'm going to announce the student who made a remarkable achievement. Tejaswini Vishwanathan from Bachelor of Commerce Honours has secured the first rank with the CGPA of 3.95 and securing the gold medal of the NMIMS University. Now I am going to announce the students who made it to the Dean's list. From School of Commerce, Pokhriyal Shruti. Osa Varun. Jane Aman. Mishra Vishal. Gupta Annapurna. Malhotra Arushi. Gupta Anjali. Juneja Neeraja. Banka Asta. Pritika. Mantirata Kajal. Kurana Gauravika. From the BCom Honors Program, Tejaswini Vishwanathan. Sabu Devan. Shri Vatsav Ans. From the School of Economics, Raman Siddharth. The School of Science, Verma Kushi. Thank you. Now I'm announcing the list of best students adjudged by our faculty team for their achievements in academics, co-curricular and extracurricular activities. V. Tejaswini from School of Commerce. Shruti Pokriya from School of Commerce, Bachelor of Science, Finance. Malpani Bidhi from School of Science, Economics. Verma Kushi from Bachelor of Science, Applied Statistics and Analytics, School of Science. I'm extremely happy and proud to announce the Teaching Excellence Award to recognize the contribution made by the faculty in building up this glorifying graduates. Professor Sweta Setia. Thank you, dignitaries. Congratulations to all of you. You're all most well deserved. Thank you.
Thank you, sirs. Thank you, ma'am. Let us give a huge round of applause and congratulations to all award winners for receiving this special honor for their exceptional performance in their respective fields. Thank you, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my esteemed privilege to introduce the Honorable Chief Guest, Mr. Nitin Pai, for Convocation Ceremony 2022-23. Mr. Pai is a design and technology business leader with 3 decades of experience across diverse domains ranging from R&D to sales to marketing, product development, commercial excellence, and general management. Mr. Nitin Pai has been serving as CMO and Chief Strategy Officer for Tata Elxsi since 2019. Mr. Pai is an engineer who started in design, moved into technology plus business role. He incubated and grew a design business that is among the largest design houses in the world. He has spent the last decade and more in leading global marketing and strategy for technology services across industries. Mr. Pai enjoying applied design-led thinking strategically to impact brand and businesses. He is a proud alumnus of BITS Pilani, IIM Bangalore, and INSEAD. Mr. Pai likes to constantly challenge himself and the status quo, adopting continuous learning as a way of life. I am pleased to invite our chief guest, Mr. Nitin Pai, to deliver the convocation address.
Good afternoon. Dr. Bhatt, Shri, Dr. Ramchandran, and folks at NMIMS Bangalore, thank you for inviting me and having me over at this convocation of the class of 2023, right, across the schools of commerce, economics, and science. I travel a great deal, so I didn't really have too much time to prepare for this. Sangram had told me well in advance, of course, but the only time that I really got, because I flew in from wherever I was late last night, was actually the long journey from the north of Bangalore to the south of Bangalore. And believe me, it's a lot of time. And I was really wondering what to tell you folks, because first of all, I come last in the program. You guys are all done with the ceremonies. You really want to go out there and celebrate, right? So I'm not going to take too long. Maybe I'll just start with a few lines, right? It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom. It was the age of foolishness. It was the epoch of belief. It was the epoch of incredulity. It was a season of light. It was a season of darkness. It was a spring of hope. It was the winter of despair. Anybody for where these lines are from? Yeah, it was the opening lines of The Tale of Two Cities. Charles Dickens, 1869, talking of Paris and London and the state of the world, right? And actually, if you look at the last 3 years and more, it's not been very different for us. And even if you look at where we stand today, on one hand, we've come out of COVID. Life's better. On the other hand, you have a depression that's looming across the major economies of the world. You have a possible war that's kind of kindling with Ukraine and Russia out there. China and US at loggerheads with geopolitics. Taiwan becoming a flashpoint. North Korea not really wanting to let go of nuclear weapons. It's just a crazy time, right? Equally, I think Dr. Bhatt talked of ChatGPT and AI. Believe me, we've been working with AI for the last 15 years or so. And yet it's a scary thought. Why? Because what you folks went through with COVID in terms of how it disrupted, but how it also transformed education is really what's happening out there in the world, right? Because if you look at your own institute and what I think, I was talking to Dr. Ramchandran too, you pivoted from physical classrooms, 4 walls, teachers in person, to digital. You got to learn how to use Zoom and WebEx and Microsoft Teams. You figured out how to put up your hand virtually. You figured out how to do chat sessions, ask doubts. Equally, if you look at the controller of examination, I'm sure he's had a tough job. How do I deliver exams virtually? How do I make sure the person who wrote the exam is really the person who wrote the exam? How do you proctor, right? And believe me, we have the same problems as a company. I remember we had 4 days to pivot all our employees to work from home. And after that, suddenly from one center in Bangalore that we were working in, we were delivering out of 2,000 centers, right? From Sikkim to Manipur to, there was actually a chap sitting somewhere near Leh. We had that many delivery centers suddenly. Why? Because our people were working from so many places, right? So I think the extraordinary times that we've been through, right? And what it's actually done is it's allowed technology to come in, to be adopted, to be mainstreamed. A lot of, and I don't want to say this, but a lot of jobs that are relevant in this space of economics, in the space of commerce, in the space of operations and HR, which possibly is careers that many of you are pursuing, are being threatened. Are being threatened with disruption, are being threatened with automation. At the same time, there's a fantastic opportunity here too, right? And that is really what I want to talk about. Because if you look at all companies, all businesses, all of us, we live in societies. These are made up of consumers and consumer behavior, and that's what shapes businesses and demand, right? And as I look at freshers who just joined us, we had about 2,000 fresh engineers join us last year, about 1,000 before that. I also look at my son. He's just getting to be about 20. He's pursuing his engineering in a college. There's a fundamental shift in thinking, right? And what's the nature of that shift? One is in terms of assets versus experiences, right? So a whole lot of the young folks that I see today seem to prefer experience rather than building assets. So they don't really care about a car, they care about where they go in the car. They don't really care about the house, it's more about where you're staying and what's the company that you're keeping. That's on one hand, experience versus assets. On the other hand, and if I take my son, he only wants to buy the best brands out there, right? It's the same thing, just that you're going to pay 4 times more, right? For that Nike, for that Adidas, and whatever else that he prefers, right? And interestingly further, when I look at my dad or look at myself, it took us many, many years to buy our first home. It took us many years to buy our first vehicle. And here, you can start a job and on EMI, you'll get your bike the day that you join, right? It's crazy. It's a crazy world. The second is the death of patience. We seem to have lesser and lesser patience, right? In fact, it's not just the kids of today. It's a behavior that's kind of starting to get me too. I can't sit in a movie and watch a song for its full duration. I got so used to that one stanza that that's enough. That's all that I can stand, right? So your patience is wearing thin. You don't have that much time and patience for things. Equally, you don't have patience to wait for anything to build up, whether it's knowledge, whether it's promotions, whether it's your salary. You want everything in advance, right? So in some sense, I was glad that I was given that gift, etc., before I did the speech, right? I didn't have to earn it, right? So that's how kids are, right? And that's how a lot of our mentality is. Where am I leading to? I'm leading to the point that all of this change of expectations, change of behavior, change of nature in terms of our expectations, our patience, and so on, is leading to businesses changing, right? So what are examples of where businesses are catering to our lack of patience or even laziness? You look at Ola, you look at Uber, you look at Swiggy. All these are kind of bringing things to you, right? They're delivering services that you get when you want, where you are, and so on and so forth, right? So they're completely new businesses, there are completely new ways of working that are being created simply to cater to the preferences and the likes and the dislikes of people now, right? In my view, there's fantastic opportunities ahead. While I did talk of winter of despair and the spring of hope and so on, I don't believe there's any better time to be than in India at this time. A fantastic opportunity. And why is it a fantastic opportunity? Because I work across the world, right? It's very, very clear that the talent that you need in terms of not just workers, but skilled talent, technical capability, there is no better source for it than India. Absolutely, without question, right? Because we work across the world. We have considered centers in Poland, in Eastern Europe, in Hungary. We have considered centers in Latin America. We've considered centers in Mexico and Canada and Vietnam. We find that there's nothing better than India. If you really want talent and if you want talent at scale, right? 2, India is becoming the biggest market in the world for almost everything. It's the 3rd biggest car market. It will be the 3rd biggest economy in the world in about 6 years, right? So you take any market, whether it's mobile phones, consumer electronics, consumer goods, you will find that India is going to become the biggest market, and you'll have brands that are going to come to India from across the world. And those are going to create opportunities for you. There are opportunities for you to create your own businesses, right? So there is an opportunity of Make in India. There's an opportunity for being trained in India and working anywhere in the world, because Japan is opening up its borders. It was one of the most closed countries in the world, right? Japan is now inviting technical talent to come and work in Japan. They will provide work permits. Germany has relaxed absolutely all its visa norms. UK is inviting tech talent too. So if you think about it, you're in a great time and a great place simply because there's a need for talent. There's a need for talent across the world, and there are opportunities that are fantastic in India. So what will it take? Right? Because I was talking to Sangram when he invited me. I said, okay, who's graduating? He said, about 200 students from across branches. And I said, okay, where are they going to go? He said, it's somewhat like the Sholay business, right? आधा job को जाएंगे, आधा higher studies के लिए जाएंगे, बाकी उनका खुद का business है. Right? So it was somewhat like that. Like, so a large part of you, I presume, have already kind of decided to pursue further education. There are a whole set of you who are aspiring to get started with the work. And there are some of you, of course, who will go back into possibly your family businesses and so on. I would wish all of you good luck. But equally, I think there are a few things that you need to know, right? And I'm going to relate back to the time that I started working. I started my job with Bajaj Auto. I was a designer for motorcycles there. So I worked on the first version of the Pulsar, if I may. Very, very long back. When I joined, Rajiv Bajaj, who's the MD and CEO right now, was my age, right? He had just finished his engineering and he was going to be inducted into Bajaj Auto. And what his dad did, remember, this is a company that they own, right? What Rahul Bajaj did was he got Rajiv Bajaj to go and work in Tata Motors as a trainee on the floor. And why is that? It's simply because it's not about knowing what to do. It's about knowing who you're going to work with and how to get work done from folks who are possibly 20, 30 years older than you, but are going to be reporting to you now, right? So how do you deal with people? How do you get work done from people? How do you work with your superiors? How do you work with your colleagues? How do you work with your reportees? I think those are lessons that you cannot get if you just transplanted into a business and said, okay, now run it, right? The same is true for me. Because when I started working, my job, because I was working under Rajiv Bajaj, was to look at digital design. You're just starting to do design. It was conventional design. You do sketches, you'd build clay models, you would then give it to R&D. R&D will throw it back saying it's not feasible, can't be manufactured. So you'd go back and forth, back and forth. So he said, no, we're going to do digital design. We're not going to go through this manual process of sketches and clay models and so on. So I spent 4 years. I had to learn some of the absolutely cutting edge tools for design at that time. We did digital sketches. So we got Wacom tablets and sketch pens. This is 30 years back. I have actually done virtual reality 30 years back. Head-mounted displays, force feedback gloves, because once you have a digital model, how do you review it? How do you approve it? Right? So these are things that we had to learn without the benefit of Wikipedia and without the benefit of Google and so on, right? So you actually had to open manuals and read. You had to go and talk to people. You had to reach out to friends. You had to reach out to seniors just to kind of figure out how does this all work, right? The second point that I'll make is about patience, right? Because if you think about my career, it's just been 2 jobs in 31 years. The first job was 4 years at Bajaj Auto, and then I moved to Tata Elxsi, and I've spent the next 27 years, right? Seems like an extraordinarily long time. It's longer than you've been in the world, right? Most of you. But the reality is that it does take time to understand how the world works, to understand what you're good at. 2, there's a fantastic opportunity to also challenge yourself to find roles within the company. So if you look at it that way, about every 4 or 5 years, I've changed what I do completely. I came into Tata Elxsi as pre-sales and tech manager for a set of tools. I then started a design business, ran that for 7 years. I had enough of that. And then I asked my CEO, look, I need to do something different. He said, why don't you get into marketing? I said, look, I've never done marketing before. He said, what do you think you've been doing all this while? Right? Because you cannot be successful without being able to market you, your company, your capabilities. So I said, sure. I took that job up. But by the way, 13 years after I had started off, I went and did a management degree at IMB alongside my job, right? Then I wanted to move into strategy. I did that in 2014. And I told my boss again, look, I've never done strategy. I said, look, what have you been doing all this while? Right? I said, fine, I took that job up, but then I went to Wharton and I did a whole session there on M&A, acquisitions and so on, because I needed to build that knowledge. I knew everything else, I didn't know that part, right? And finally, 2018-19, I went back to school. I went to INSEAD and spent a year there, Fontainebleau, fantastic campus, just to kind of refresh what's changed in the world of management, what's changed in the world of business, what's the new way of working. The only thing I'll leave you with is, through all this, I've been through some of the finest campuses. It's not the campuses that you take away. It's the people that you take away, right? A lot of the knowledge that you'll learn will most likely become redundant soon enough, right? You will have to learn, relearn, unlearn too. You'll have to learn with technology. You'll have to learn to live with technology, because that's going to disrupt. And believe me, it is. You'll have to learn to make friends with it rather than getting to loggerheads. But having said that, I think the greatest things that you'll take away is the art of learning rather than the learning that you had. You'll take away a fantastic set of friends that you made. Hopefully they'll stay for life. They'll not just be relegated to WhatsApp groups and good mornings, right? So they will stay friends for life, but some of them will. I think the most powerful thing that you'll take away is the network. You'll take away the network of alumni that you have built, your seniors, your teachers, your juniors, your own classmates. And believe me, that's the most valuable thing that you'll have 2 years down, 5 years down, 10 years down, right? Because that is what I value. From Pilani, that's what I value. From INSEAD, that's what I value. From Wharton, that's what I value. From IMB, all these are great campuses. They don't matter at all. I've had great learnings, but I can forget them soon enough. I think it's the network that you'll take away, right? So with that, congratulations. Absolute best wishes in whatever you pursue, whatever you decide to pursue, whether it's folks who are going off to study some more, whether it's folks who are going to start off on the new job, or there are folks who have their dad to rely on. Whichever way it is, best wishes and good luck.
Thank you so much, sir. We are truly enriched by your words of wisdom. I would now like to request Professor Gavin D'Souza, Program Chairperson, BBA, to deliver vote of thanks.
Chief Guest for the Convocation 2023, Mr. Nitin Pai, CMO and Chief Strategy Officer at Tata Elxsi, Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Ramesh Bhatt, Controller of Examinations Mr. Ashish Apte, Dr. Narayani Ramachandran, Deputy Director, Bengaluru Campus, Heads of Schools, Faculty and Staff Colleagues, Graduating Students, Parents, Esteemed members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. It is my privilege to propose the vote of thanks for the convocation ceremony. This ceremony marks a new phase in the life of a graduating student. I'm sure the words of our chief guest will be engraved in the minds of our students forever. Thank you, Mr. Nitin Pai, for sparing your valuable time for the convocation and addressing our graduating students. We at NMIMS are very grateful to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Ramesh Bhatt, for gracing the occasion. The tireless efforts put in by the Deputy Director and her entire team have given a befitting grace and poise to the occasion. I wish to acknowledge their efforts. I would like to acknowledge the efforts put forward by the entire admin team and also wish to acknowledge the contribution and presence of faculties, students, and staff in the success of the program. I wish all the graduating students all the very best in their future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I request Controller of Examinations, Mr. Ashish Apte, to take charge of the proceedings.
Nice job on my hand. I request our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Ramesh Bhatt, to declare the convocation of 2023, our Bangalore campus, as closed.
I hereby declare the convocation 2023 of SVKM's NMIMS Bengaluru closed.
Thank you, sirs. I request everyone to rise for the national anthem and request the audience to remain standing till the academic procession recedes.
जनगणमन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य